What's up? How you doing? The NFL draft, baby, and I just jumped up for joy. One of my favorite positions went to not my team, but it's it's unbeknownst to a lot of people. This is one of my favorite running backs that got drafted in the fourth round, uh, behind a big time, highly hyped running back. I like this guy. He's a very capable 6 foot 219, right in my wheelhouse. Welcome to the NFL draft and to the Chicago Bears, Rashawn Johnson.
Okay. Well, we'll see what he does in Chicago, as he's going to be a backup to Khalil Herbert at the time. Maybe he wins the job, maybe he doesn't. But if that's one of your favorite players, you get to talk about it in a minute. But for those that missed Thursday's show, let's talk about that first, because it's streaming at the bottom, all the picks. There were some surprises and a slew of trades. One thing I noticed, JT, or for NR, there were no player trades.
Not for NR, for no reason.
Well, for NR,
I know you're in the military and you like acronyms.
Hey,
for
NR.
no reason, not for NR.
Well, that's the way I break it down. For NR, just like you don't say Mr. Fantasy Sports and Politics, do you?
Yes, I do.
You say Mr. FSP. You don't say Mr. Fantasy Sports and Politics.
What does that say?
So
right
keep
there?
keep going.
What does that say, Mr.
Let's
FSP?
talk about.
Okay,
Let's
come on, man.
talk about the daggone picks.
Respect my show. Call it for no reason, not for.
What?
For
I'm
NR.
not talking about the show. I said you. Keep going. Let's talk about the players.
Okay.
What was your takeaway from the first round, the trades, and the fact that no players were traded?
Well, let me put it this way. I'm a little surprised no players were traded, but what trade could be taking place between these teams that involved first round picks? I don't see any players out there. I could be mistaken, but I don't see any players that are supposedly on the trade market or not a free agent, but that weren't a first round draft pick. So that's why it didn't take place. Okay, you want to say DeAndre Hopkins? He's not a first round draft pick. He's right now at 30, whatever he is. He's probably 3-4, somewhere around there, in my opinion. Maybe a second. Well, second round went. He's not. He didn't get part of a trade. Third round went. He's not part of a trade. So what's that telling you? What the NFL thinks of DeAndre Hopkins in trying to acquire him to another team. So,
well, his contract is the big reason. Nobody wants to take on $25 million to pay a wide receiver right now. That's the biggest setback with DeAndre Hopkins. Not that they don't want him or his abilities. It's $25 million. They got to pay him this year.
Let me put it this way. Most of the guys that got traded, including Aaron Rodgers, they if I'm not mistaken, are agreeing to restructure their contract. So depending on if it's Hopkins is willing to restructure his contract, play big into a trade. If he's not willing to restructure his contract, that ain't happening. So I mean, he's going to sit on the Cardinals as a disgruntled player, playing.
Get his money.
He's going to get his money, but you know what? Let me put it this way. No. Just listen and hear me out. He may get his money, but at least half the season, maybe even half the season, maybe even more, depending on your boy gets healthy or not. He's going to be playing with a second string quarterback. His numbers ain't going to be what he used to. So what's going to happen to his value? It's going to drop. It's going to drop.
I disagree.
Okay.
No, and the reason why I disagree is because
he's going to be a
general manager understands you're playing with a backup.
He's a year older.
Starter. But
he's a
your
year
point
older.
is well taken. His value does drop because of the backup quarterback situation, but that's not his fault. So if he sits there in Arizona and he plays for the year, because I'm quite sure he's not going to sit out because he's owed $25 million. They're either going to cut him by June 1st and absorb a lot of that money, or they're going to trade him and somebody's going to eat a portion of that, and Arizona will be stuck with probably the larger portion of it, just like with Baker Mayfield, right? Cleveland had to eat a bunch of that money in order to move him. The other part is if he does get cut, he's free to go wherever he wants. He's not the property of anybody.
I understand that, but the residual effects is the Cardinals are going to take a cap hit, big cap hit.
Oh yeah,
if he goes. So I don't know if do you want to take a big cap hit and not have him on his team, or pay him if you have to and get something out of it.
Well, that's the thing. If it's not, he doesn't have a no trade clause, so it's not on him.
Well, I know that.
It's on Arizona as to what they're willing to accept.
I understand. I understand that fully.
So it's not on Hopkins about
I didn't say it was.
Pay cut.
Never said it was.
Well, you said if he's not willing to restructure his contract, like Aaron Rodgers and stuff, that's a problem. But that's not the case.
Let me put it this way: if he gets the trade, if he's willing to restructure his contract, it's going to the team that wants to acquire him is going to feel better about grabbing him if he's willing to restructure his contract. If he's not willing to restructure his contract, he's sitting in Cardinals. That's it. That's the bottom line. So it is on the Cardinals, but it's also on Hopkins because he's got to be flexible in his contract in order for him to get traded to whatever team.
Well, you're right. You're right in the fact that the restructure part does play a role, but ultimately, if a team wants him, they will go ahead and make the deal, but Arizona has to be okay with the compensation. People get traded to teams all the time. Well, back in the day, they got traded to teams all the time and then got that contract tore up and a new one done.
Yep.
So it's not as if that's a big hindrance is what I'm trying to say. They can say, well, you know what, DeAndre, we'll take on this $25 million, but if you're willing to go ahead and tear it up and let's give you a long-term deal, because you only get on a 1-year contract. You're only on a 1 year. So if you're willing to tear that up and, do a longer term deal, then cool. But that's after the fact. That's not now because he's owed $25 million on the last year of this deal.
Okay.
So him willing to restructure should have no effect on the current ability for a team to say, we'll take him from you, Arizona, and Arizona agreed on the compensation. After that part, then what you're saying kicks in. No team has, from my knowledge, I don't know if you got any inside information, but no team has said, we're willing to take you, guy. I know Detroit was in conversations with him, but they made a trade, but it wasn't for Buddha and DeAndre. That was what the trade rumor was. But anyway, let's talk about the players that were drafted in the first round. Again, what players or what moves surprised you and what disappointed you?
Well, like I said on Thursday's show, that I'm not going to be surprised because anything can happen in this. But what I will say is this: at number 12, I think it was number 12. It wasn't at number 6, which was Detroit's pick.
Yeah, they switched picks. Arizona and Detroit switched picks. So they
Detroit picked Jamar Gibbs. That was a big surprise for me. For the simple fact is, there was talk about him.
No, not at 6. They picked him
at 12.
No. Hold on. Remember, Arizona dropped from there.
I don't care where Arizona dropped.
I'm trying to tell you they didn't get Gibbs with that pick. They got Gibbs Gibbs is. Look at the bottom. Just look at the bottom.
Number 12. Number
It says
12.
12. Oh, because Houston gave Arizona that pick, and Arizona then traded that pick. They traded twice. Because they got Anderson.
Come on, man. I saw it on the bottom. I saw it on the bottom of the screen.
They got Witherspoon. They got Johnson Jr.
I'm not worried about Witherspoon. You asked me what surprised me. I'm telling you the 12th pick for the Detroit Lions when they picked up Jamar Gibbs.
Okay. Now, why was that surprising?
They just picked up David Montgomery in a big contract. Why would you pick up another running back at number 12 when you possibly could have got him later? That's what I'm talking about. There's only 2 running backs that went in the first round. And I'm not going to put them in any order. Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. Only 2. So what's that telling you? I don't think any other team was going to pick Jamar Gibbs in the first round. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe in New Orleans.
There was a rumor. There was a big rumor. Well, that's why they jumped up and got him.
There was a rumor that the Texans weren't going to take a quarterback, but they did. So, rumors are like, you know what? Everybody's got one. So, come on. I don't care about rumors. Rumors, I could care less. Well, what's happened is happened. And that really surprised me. I would have not picked him at 12. I would not pick him at 12. He's a dynamic running back, but to me, he's not at 12. He's not a number 12.
Well, okay. With that being said, so let me tell you the rumor since you don't know what it was. The rumor was since Bijan went to Atlanta, that kind of messed up the plans because Detroit had no intention of moving back up in the draft to get him. But there was a rumor that Dallas and Minnesota were trying to move in front of them to get Robinson. Now, we already know that Dallas has Pollard on a 1-year contract. We also know that Minnesota was trying to trade or trying to get rid of Dalvin Cook so they can get a younger back in there. So being Detroit, I get why they did what they did, but Dallas ended up getting a defensive player anyway, and Minnesota ended up getting a receiver. But that's after the fact. But the rumor was that those 2 teams were trying to move up to get Robinson. So therefore, Detroit's brass said, well, you know what? We got this capital. Let's just move up and grab him now because we don't have another pick in the first round where we can snake back in. So, and I'm not sure what second round pick they had, but I get why they did it. I'm agreeing with you that Gibbs definitely is not a number 12 overall pick. I don't know if you saw my expression or heard my reaction when I saw the kid's face when he was picked. He didn't even want to put the hat on. He was just up there grinning and smiling with lip gloss on or lip whatever on.
What's that got to do with anything?
No, I'm just saying his face was glistening. But
okay.
He didn't want to even put the hat on. Normally, in other words, it looked like he was covering his face in his reaction, like he didn't want to go to Detroit. That's what it looked like to me. So I was like, this dude, okay, what's going on with this dude? Normally, when somebody's drafted, especially in the first round and so high, they are overjoyed.
Well, let me put it this way.
You have to be, but normally that's the case.
I could care less how the guy looked. He was smiling quite naturally because he did get picked by a team and an up-and-coming team and a team that they definitely had plans to use him whatever way they want to use him because he's a very versatile back. I didn't think he was a number 12 pick, but it is what it is. The team thought he was a number 12 pick. They took him at that. I could care less what rumors are one way up or down. Rumors are, like I said, don't mean nothing until you actually see what's going on. If that rumor was true or it was just BS. And just like I said, rumors said that Texans weren't going to take a quarterback number 2. They took a quarterback number 2 and made a move to get to number 3. So they had back-to-back picks and picked what a lot of people thought they were going to pick instead of the quarterback, Will Anderson. So
well, I'll say this that they got who everybody thought they were going to get anyway. It was just they made a power move to get Anderson instead of Stroud, because Stroud, I believe he would have fell to them at number 12 if they stayed at number 12. But because Houston had capital, Houston did a lot of trading, by the way. They did a lot of trading and got a lot of good players. But they decided that Anderson was worth the move on these new picks that they got to jump right back up, right behind themselves, and pick the player. I would say this. DeAndre Swift looks like he's going to go to the Eagles. So that Detroit move, I get it. Now, what the conversation is, I don't know. But that was a big surprise to me. That nobody, well, one person, Stetson Bennett went to the Rams. That's a good move. Stetson Bennett going to the Rams. What up, my brother? What up, bro? What's up? But Stetson Bennett going in the 4th round, that was pretty bold, because I don't think he's a 4th round talent, but he's very good. As I said, DeAndre Swift was just traded to the Eagles, so that's why they got Gibbs. I told you that on Thursday that they were looking to move him.
I thought we weren't going to do that.
Huh?
I thought we weren't going to do that.
Do what?
I told you.
Who am I telling? Jerry, stop taking things personally. I didn't say that.
I'm not.
You. I said I told you, meaning the people that were watching. Yeah, let's get out our feelings. Okay. Hold up.
Look, I'm not getting my
eligible. Oh, he's making fun of him. He's making fun of how old Stetson Bennett is. Listen, Hendon Hooker is, and I want to get, because we're on Detroit, I want to get to Hendon Hooker. I'm about to become a Detroit Lions fan, Jerry. I really am. Hendon Hooker, they got the Iowa tight end, who we were talking about before, because Chris Joslin kept saying he's a beast. They went out and got the safety from Alabama. They went and got another receiver. Detroit. Some people are like, Detroit's just making picks to make picks. I think Detroit has had one of the better drafts thus far. I mean, outside of the power move Houston did, I think Detroit's been working it. What do you think?
You know, last year, I said I'm grabbing a lot of Minnesota Vikings, or I said the Minnesota Vikings is what you want in fantasy. That was last year. That's one of the stress getting a piece of. I'm stressing this year getting a piece of another NFC North team, and that's the Detroit Lions.
I will wholeheartedly support that and agree with that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, this young kid, the tight end, I can't remember his name right now.
Sam Laporta.
Laporta. I like this kid. Chris Joslin sold me on Laporta. He really did. After I did my homework, I had to agree with him. You know, when people don't do their homework, it's like they're shooting out the side of their hip, or they're shooting out the backside. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know what you're talking about. And Chris knew what he was talking about. Of course, he's an Iowa fan, so of course he followed the guy. But I'm going to tell you right now, Detroit has a real shot at winning the NFC North if Minnesota plays around. I'm just saying. If Minnesota play around, Detroit is going to sneak up and win that daggone division. Gibbs is a very talented back, but you're pairing him with Montgomery. Oh my God. Amon-Ra already showed you what he could do. If Wilson didn't, get caught up in his gambling situation, I think those two will be a dynamic duo. Plus, the defense is getting fixed on the back end. I'm telling you, I agree with you. Detroit is going to be a problem. They are not going to be a doormat. I'm calling it here for those that are watching. And I did it already before. Atlanta's going to win the South. Detroit's going to win the North. Eagles are going to win the entire NFC, but they're going to win the NFC East. And I don't know who's going to win the West. I hate to say this, but Jerry's Genome might win the division if Brock Purdy ain't the starting quarterback for the majority of the season in San Fran. If Brock Purdy's the starting quarterback for the majority of the season in San Fran, San Francisco is going to run away with that division easily, and Geno is going to revert back to who he was. But we got Chris and Brody. Chris is a Tampa Bay / New England fan. Brody is a Cowboy fan. I want to ask these guys, since they're watching, thank you for participating, guys, your thoughts on your team's draft thus far. The Cowboys just made a pick, so I know Brody's probably digesting it, but I want to get their responses. While we wait for them to type that up, JT, your feelings on Philly, though. Philly just keeps getting everybody from Georgia. This is getting everybody from Georgia.
What's
Jerry?
that?
I said your thoughts on Philly.
Hey, that's the University of Georgia in Philly. The University of Georgia has moved to Pennsylvania. That's all I gotta say is, I mean, you got a formula. That formula has panned out, aka the guys that he picked last year. And they said, well, we went to that well. Let's go back to that well with the guys that they're familiar with, that's playing now, that came in that last year. Let's bring these guys in. One of the best, if not the best player in the draft, in Jalen Carter, and one of the quickest linebackers, edge rushers, or whatever you want to call them, in Nolan Smith. And then they got Keeley, the defensive back. Come on, man.
Yeah.
They got some serious defense coming out of Georgia. And let me put it this way. Has Georgia surpassed Alabama in talent?
I was about to just say that. Listen, I was about to say that because even though the Alabama tackle is on the Eagles team now, it's more Georgia players getting picked in the past couple years in the draft than Alabama.
They must be eating a lot more peaches or something because them boys coming down from Georgia are country strong and got a lot of ability, man. Let me put it that way. I mean,
I'll say this about Georgia. Kirby Smart was about to get run out of there several years. And it took Stetson Bennett, even though, Brody was making fun of him, he turned that around and made them winners. So Georgia is the destination of the SEC right now. At least in my opinion, it is. And it's showing because of the players. An entire defense is about to think about this. Almost an entire defense of Georgia players is going to start in the NFL for one team.
And the fact is, these guys, it's not like they don't know each other. Don't know each other. they know each other well, so
exactly
they can play off each other. Come on, man.
They know the strengths, they know the weaknesses. And remember, over the past 2 years, Georgia's defense gave up less than 9 points a game until we got to the bowl season. But less than 9 points a game. What are they going to do in the NFL? Oh, my God. Well, we're going to talk about Lamar. We're going to talk about Lamar, Chris. But let me get your comment up here, Chris. Chris says, New England goes for the defensive studs, always, with like a target or two for Big Mac to toss the ball to. Tampa Bay passes on a QB in Will Levis. So clearly, they are rebuilding or waiting until next year. And here's what I got to say about New England, Chris. I freaking hate y'all. But I can't hate y'all because of who you are. I can hate you because my organization got a very fast, very skinny DB, and the player I wanted went to y'all, Gonzalez. Now I understand there's supposed to be some type of off the field, possible off the field issues, but his character isn't in question as much. I understand that Forbes he made an SEC record, and when you make records in the SEC, you've got real talent. So I'm not saying the kid's not talented. What I'm saying is I don't know if he's durable enough to last a long time in the NFL unless they put he needs at least a good 15, 20 pounds on him, in my opinion. Because if not, they're going to just try to cut him and take his legs out. But I understand you want to get Mac Jones some targets. But like you said, it's Bill Belichick. It's Bill Belichick. As far as Tampa Bay, JT had Levitz going to Tampa Bay. We all know that didn't happen because he sat there the entire first round looking like that. And he ended up going to Tennessee. Rebuild, yes, because they're going to let Baker and Kyle Trask fight it out. But again, think about that coach. Your coach don't care about offense. He wants 3 yards in a cloud of dust and games that are close.
That's what I talked about all the time, man. About the defensive-minded head coach, thinks about defense.
Oh, Brian, sick to his stomach.
Why? What kind of fan is he?
He's a Cowboy fan.
Oh, he's sick to. He must have not liked the last pick. Let me put it that way.
Well, here's what I'm gonna do, Brian. I want you to type up your thoughts on the Cowboys draft so far, and we're gonna post it up, or shoot me a private message with your email, and I'll bring you on and I'll let you talk. Chris, same to you. If you want to come on and talk with us, shoot me a private message with your email. I'll send you an invite. You come on and talk with us. But talk your talk, JT, about what you were about to say. And then we'll talk about Lamar.
Go ahead.
You got nothing to say about Chris's comments about Tampa Bay?
Well, let me put it. What you talking about? I'm not. No, I don't think anything. Because I'm just saying, Bill Belichick's a defensive-minded coach. He's going to probably sprinkle in players in the offense when he drafts them, but just like a defensive-minded coach, he's thinking defense first. And the Cowboys have thought about defense first. Mozzie Smith, first-round pick. Luke Shoemaker, Schoonmaker, with the second-round pick and a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next two picks in the third and fourth round, both 27th pick in each of those rounds, was DeMarvion Overshown, a linebacker, and Vololami Vaheko,
the defensive tackle,
a defensive end on the for San Jose State. So they went defense, and they only picked up one tight end, which is probably going to be used quite a bit. and Luke Schoonmaker. So they lean on defense also, but that's an offensive-minded coach. What can I tell you?
Well, it is what it is. I'm gonna wait for Brian to post his thing. Chris keeps putting comments, so I guess we're gonna talk about Lamar until we get through his comments. Why draft a QB in the first round a few years back and not add some targets other than the 2 tight ends that hung around a while? Now, listen, Chris. Wait a minute, hold up, Brian. I'm gonna put your comment up next, Brian. Chris, Jacoby Meyer was a first-round pick. Nicole Hardy was a first-round pick. Jacoby Myers was working out, but they just couldn't get him in the end zone. He was a PPR machine. JT and I know that for sure because we had him on our fantasy team. But for whatever reason, that offense isn't designed to go down the field a lot. It's designed to be short and powerful. Hence, why they didn't get any outside threats and went 2 tight ends with when they got the tight end from Tennessee and the tight end from the Chargers. Neither of which are with the team anymore. But it is what it is. I can't tell you why, but that's what it is. As far as what Brian says, I like Maisie Smith. I'm kind of twisted up about the Shoemaker pick. Thought he would have taken an offensive guard in the first 3 rounds. Overshoon is fast, but he can't read offenses. And Philly gave up a 5th-round pick for DeAndre Swift, Brody. DeAndre Swift was had for a 5th-round pick.
And where did DeAndre Swift college team come from?
Oh, 7th. They gave up a 7th-round pick this year and a 4th-round pick next year. That is ultimate disrespect. A 7th round this year?
Where did DeAndre Swift play college football at? Georgia.
I ain't got nothing to do with that. But
Georgia.
Let's get back to Brian. Let's get back to Brian's comments here. And I want to thank you. See, you guys missed out. I had a giveaway for a beautiful Michael Vick authentic helmet. Now, I know none of y'all are Eagles fans, but it's Michael Vick. Someone else won it during the live draft, but you never know what I'm going to have for you when you come on the show. This is the show. Everything else is boo-boo. I'm just telling you. We give away things here. So,
you see what your boy said about Swift?
Lions won with he injury prone. Yeah, he's injury prone.
Ooh, wait a minute. Whoa.
Wait a minute. Let me address the thing, and we can talk about what Minnesota just did. Minnesota just moved up. I don't know who they picked, but they just moved up. But the Cowboys, I don't know why they're not addressing their offensive line, which is beat up. Anytime you got to play, jigsaw puzzle with your offensive tackles playing guard and offensive tackles and center, that's a problem, especially when you got all that weaponry. Look, you got Cooks, Lamb, Gallup, Pollard, the new tight end, your big money man in Dak. You got to protect that. So I'm in agreement with Brian. I understand, and Micah Parsons made a whole big deal about getting Maisie Smith. He wanted Maisie Smith. He said it was on the Manning cast of the draft. It was live. He texted Dan Quinn about getting Maisie Smith because Maisie Smith can stop the run, and he was like, no more quarterback sneak by Philly ever again. All right, B, I'm going to bring you on. I didn't want you to give your email address to everybody, but I'll bring you on.
He's just like me. I don't care.
Yeah, but Brian's my dude. I can't have him having people sending him all types of stuff. But go ahead and say what you're going to say. I think you're going to talk about the Vikings trade that they just made, or
no. I'm talking about the trade that the Detroit Lions made with Philly.
okay.
And the remark that person made about Swift being injury prone. You got to understand. You got to understand something, huh?
I say what you is.
I'm fully aware of that. But what did Philly do? Even with Miles Sanders, what did Philly do with Miles Sanders?
Oh, they platooned him.
Exactly. Less chance of getting DeAndre Swift, and they gave up. They gave up what they thought DeAndre Swift was worth.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So they didn't give up too much. They didn't give up the kitchen sink to get DeAndre Swift. They gave up, and I'm right as we speak. I'm looking at the depth chart of the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, including the run.
Brian, I sent you the invite. Check your email. Go ahead, Jerry.
Including the
DeAndre Swift.
Including DeAndre Swift. Now they have Rashad Penny, Kenneth Gainwell.
Injury prone.
Okay, but they got Kenneth Gainwell.
Gainwell's not injury prone. He's their muscle back, but he's just short.
And they got Boston Scott and they got Trey Sermon to add to that. So one of those guys is definitely going to go. And even if DeAndre Swift is injury prone, Detroit was basically using him as an every down back, except the goal line where Jamal Williams took over.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in a platoon with less chance of getting injured. Try to get the best out of him between the 20s, and use those other backs, whether it's in a passing game or whether it's running the football inside the red zone. So fourth and a seventh. Come on, man. That ain't nothing.
No, that's what I'm saying. He went from being a first-round pick to being undependable or unreliable to injury-prone to traded for a 7th round and a 4th round. 7th round this year, 4th round next year. Now, Trey Sermon is a big disappointment to me, especially coming out of OU. I think he's going to be the odd man out. Kenneth Gainwell was their muscle back last year. He's safe, right? The trade that Philly just made for DeAndre Swift, to me, listen to what I'm saying, makes him cuttable.
Yep.
It makes him very cuttable.
Who?
DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
Before the season even begins.
Well, let me ask you before that. Let me ask you this though: why even pick him up? I know you picked him up for a 4th round and a 7th round, but why even go through that exercise of a trade and picking him up? That's what I'm talking about.
I would say to see what you can have. You just listed their depth chart, right? He can compete with those guys. He really can. But if he can't make it through without being injured, he's not going to stay on that team next year. And it would only cost them a 7th round pick this year, which is, by the way, one of their compensatory picks.
Okay.
So it was a pick they didn't even have until this draft anyway. And now it's like, we'll take a shot. They got to get rid of him. We're not giving up much. If he works out, he stays with us and becomes part of our platoon. If he doesn't, then okay. No big deal. The Eagles are making smart moves. I mean, that's what I'm seeing.
Well, that's nothing new. I mean, they've been making smart moves for the last few years in drafting. They seem like everybody's playing checkers and they're playing chess. Let me put it that way.
They're playing world championship chess, not just regular chess.
Yes.
Well, because I look at, and this is only the 5th quarterback taken in the entire draft, Aiden O'Connell out of Purdue. Think about that, Jerry.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the 4th round, only 4 QBs in the entire draft thus far. That is amazing.
And one of them is my man, number 15 out of Florida. I'm going back to the first round.
Now you're going back to the first round.
I'm going back to the first round.
You're gonna go back to
I'm going back. Since you mentioned quarterbacks, I have to go to the quarterback that I really am pushing for, because I think this guy's going to be a superstar. Okay. I mean, I think he went to the exact right fit.
Yes.
For what he does.
Yes.
And the head coach, former quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, wherever he was at Philly, coaching Jalen Hurts, he went to be the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And this kid, Anthony Richardson, in my opinion, I wouldn't say fell in his laps, but came to him through God's gift. Let me put it that way. I put it this way. I got to believe that, and that come fantasy, this guy is going to be on my roster. He's going to be on my roster.
No, he's not, Jerry. Trust me.
Yeah, okay. No problem. No, hey, you know what? The ultimate the ultimate compliment is someone else taking someone that I mentioned. That's the ultimate compliment.
I don't care about your ultimate compliments. And Brian corrected me. This guy was the 5th quarterback taken, because I forgot. Hendon Hooker, Richardson. Actually, it's the 6th, because you had Young, Stroud,
Richardson,
Levitt. Yeah, Richardson, Levitt, Hendon Hooker, and now O'Donnell. So that's not bad. That's not bad.
No. You forgot. Hayner went to New Orleans.
Okay. Then we got 7. 7 QBs gone. 7 QBs gone.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, I sent you the email. You can jump on if you got a camera, or if you don't want to be on with your face, use an avatar. We get your voice. I know you ain't that good looking. But you my boy, Blue. Anyway, Brian, by the way, I always love to shout out all of my friends and associates that are a part of something. Like Chris is Mala for vets. It's yoga and mala beads to help individuals deal with PTSD. He has a business. Brian is part of this great youth organization. It's RR. I don't remember the full name of it, but he just came on the screen, and I'm going to let him say what it is once he gets his camera set and ready to talk. But he's a young man. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Brian before I bring him on. Met him as not a brother-in-law, baby mama brother-in-law. I don't know what the hell to call him, but we are family. We are family.
I feel for you, brother.
See, I was about to say something nice about you, Jerry, but I'm gonna take it back now. I'm gonna take it back now because of what you just said. But anyway,
you taking it personal?
Oh yeah, because I feel for you too.
You getting any feelings?
4NR. Okay, 4NR. Be quiet now. But Brian has a story that can relate to any youth. And he's sharing that now with a nonprofit organization. He's a football coach. He's a big muscle hamster. First of all, he's a freaking naturally big muscle hamster. He came out the womb nothing but a muscle. But he can do a lot of great things, and he's doing a lot of great things for people. But his problem is he's a Cowboys fan. Now, we see his chin.
I feel
we don't see his face, but I'm about to bring him on, so I need him to have his face in the place. We don't want to see his chin.
Well, until he has his face in his face.
There it is.
Okay.
What's going on, man?
Oh my God. Oh, you know what? You look like one of Thomas Jones.
Your children?
He looks like Thomas Jones, man.
Yeah, he does look like Thomas Jones.
He does look like Thomas Jones. Oh my God.
He's built like Thomas Jones is now.
Wow.
But looks like he's at work. He's got his work shirt on.
Yeah, I'm working.
Send a brother some chicken, bro. Come on now.
Hey,
Anyway,
we don't make chicken here.
you cut him up.
No,
What you do?
we make tacos and tortillas for Taco Bell.
Oh, okay.
Well, send me some tacos and tortillas
Okay.
from Taco Bell. I mean,
What's up, my brother? How you doing today? Good to meet you.
I'm good. How you feeling?
All right.
oh, Chris said this. Chris said, not too many Dallas fans willing to show their face these days. But Brian,
Oh, my man. Represent. You
hey
got
Brian,
to represent.
I'm about to kick you off the show, Brian.
You got to represent.
No, he don't.
Yes, he
But-
does.
Real quick,
You
real
sitting up
quick,
there
dude.
with that burnt ugly jersey on.
Hey, this is my show. I can wear what I want.
Exactly.
I can wear what I
And,
want.
and, you know, as far as I know, this is a free world, and he can wear what he
Hey,
wants.
you know what? It's a free world, but it's not a free show. Silencio, por favor. All right. Anyway, B, tell the people a little bit. And we just got KJ Henry. We just got KJ Henry from Clemson. I like that edge rusher. I like that. That's a good pick. But anyway, B, tell the people a little bit about your nonprofit organization that you're a part of, what you're doing, and then let's get into your Cowboy picks.
Yeah, I've been a part of a nonprofit for the last few years now. This year we just started a new one to help, all of the kids in our community and surrounding communities. And if you know anything about youth football, you can have registration fees from $150 all the way up to $350. So we have made a way through donations, fundraisers to make our organization free.
And your organization is called Real Right.
Yeah,
What's
we
the name
don't
of
have
your organization? And you're located where?
Real Right Youth Well, the entire name is Real Right Youth Athletic Association, and we're in Sanford, North Carolina, Lee County.
Okay.
But
how do you
do
that? How do you do that?
Do what?
Make it for free.
Fundraisers, donations. So we have all of our equipment covered. We have the cost of our field covered. Everything is free.
So Brian, let the people out there and Jerry know, because Jerry's going to be astounded when you tell him the different opportunities that you're providing the youth of Lee County, because we were talking about possibly venturing into some other arts. But
yes,
tell Jerry the different sports and the different activities you guys already have going.
Yeah, well, right there, normally you have a football team, you may have the different age groups, but we have made thus the name for our organization is Real Right Youth Athletic Association. We have football, we have basketball, we have wrestling, track and field, and we just started our soccer program.
And cheer as well. You have cheer as well for the young ladies.
And
right?
cheer. Currently, right now, as of the last update I got, which was last week, early last week, the season doesn't start until August, but we have 92 players who have already registered and 53 cheerleaders.
And they go around youth competitions as well, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and my question is this: is all your organizations, all your athletic organizations, free, or
all of
it's free?
Through grants,
you must be
fundraisers.
You must be serious
and stuff like that.
You must be some serious fundraisers.
The way that we're doing it and handling it is football season is first, so that's what we're working on now. So the money that is generated through people paying at the gate and concessions and whatnot, all of that money will be, we have it going to it will be going to an account. And at the end of the season, that money will help fund the basketball program and the wrestling program, since they'll go simultaneously. And
Okay.
then the money that's generated from that program will go and fund the track and field program and the soccer program. So
Also,
the money
women,
just
Jerry,
funnels and just revolves around from one program to the next, so that all of the kids, not just the football players and the cheerleaders, but all of the players can in each sport can enjoy the same thing.
and before you say anything, Jerry, hold your question.
Yep.
Something that Brian didn't mention, which is very important, networking. He's working with the high school or high schools in the area to get these facilities for these kids. So the football field, and I know they're working possibly baseball and possibly like other arts, such as
We haven't
music.
done it. We haven't ventured into the other arts like what you and I talked about before, Vic. But that's here coming in the near future. Right now, I'm trying to work an angle to include baseball. Baseball may be a little harder to get into because of this is a big baseball county, and they have a very, very good program as it is. So, we're going to try to start from possibly going T-ball up to prep the kids so that they can kind of use us as a farm program, if you will.
Exactly. But networking is the biggest part of this as to why a lot of stuff is free. The schools are willing to provide the facilities so they can have these games, the wrestling matches, track and field. So that cuts down on a lot of expenses.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And
the director of our basketball program, his father is the athletic director at one of the high schools. So we'll have access to both of the gyms at this high school. One of them we can use for basketball, and the other one we can use for our wrestling program.
Outstanding. Go ahead, JT. I just want to point that out for you. That's all, because it's really important.
I got two questions. Now, I don't know if it's across the nation or it's down in where you live, but I know it's huge and it's growing momentum even more up in the Northeast. What about lacrosse?
Haven't done that yet. That has come up. We've had some minor conversations about it, but we haven't went into it full-fledged yet. Okay. It is becoming big in North Carolina.
Okay.
It like you said, it's more prevalent up north.
Right.
But there are some schools in the North Carolina area, not necessarily here, but in the North Carolina area, there are some schools that do have lacrosse teams, and we've talked about that.
My second question is, if anybody, I know that this is on Facebook and on YouTube, if anybody wants to contribute, where can they send contributions to?
If I had it, and look, I'm using my phone, so I
okay, no problem.
All right, so here's what we do, B. Here's what we do. You guys have a website, correct?
Yes.
Give that website information out, and we can share your your business contact information for those that want to get more information on how to donate.
Right.
So give that website out, give email or whatever that you can give out for people that want to help support or get involved, or whatever it is.
Okay. Here we go. Oh shoot! Now they ain't gonna let me do that either. Come on now. This is my work computer.
Go on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, while he's doing that. It's called Real Right Youth Sports
Youth Athletic Association.
Youth Athletic Association. There is a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Correct, B?
All the information is up there.
All the information is up there. Are you guys on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that?
Yes, we are. We are on Instagram.
Okay, under the same name. Listen, this is why I wanted to talk to Brian about this before we got into the NFL, because it all starts at that youth level.
Yeah.
It all starts at, Here's something else. I didn't even know this until J.R. Smith went to North Carolina A&T for golf. The scholarship offers in golf for college are outrageous.
Oh man, now I don't know the exact numbers as of last year, but I know this is 2023. In 2016, 2017, 70% of golf scholarships went unused every year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know it was 70%. I thought it was more like 25 or 40. Because when I looked it up, when I found out,
and I talked to one of the coaches, a golf coach at a high school, and they said you don't have to be great in high school golf. You just have to be decent to good and be consistent. And if you're decent to good and consistent, you can get a scholarship in golf.
Yes.
Made me kick myself in my butt for not putting my son in it.
Bruh, Jeremiah got 1 year left. I'm like, dude, I don't care if you're 6'2". I got these golf clubs. You can learn to get a scholarship.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But Jay, you got any more questions before we move into
why Dallas fan?
Well, yeah, I don't want to hear this story. Go ahead.
I don't even know when it started because look, I was actually born in Philly.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
We moved to North Carolina. My oldest sister, she's a Pittsburgh fan.
Okay.
But growing up I came up looking at the Tony Dorsett era.
Okay.
When Darrell Green ran him down and tackled. Yeah, Darrell Green did that.
And he also ran a 99-yard touchdown. So what are you saying?
That was not on Washington. That was not on Washington.
Exactly.
What are you saying?
That was not on Washington. But keep going. I'm sorry.
It don't make a difference.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
So, and then, to go up into the triplet era with Emmett and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. And, I was a huge fan of Coach.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson?
Jimmy Johnson. So, it's just been, they've been my heart and soul ever since I've been looking at them.
The only reason
he's been living in the past, basically. He's been living in the past.
Hey,
man, we got 2 12-5 seasons, back-to-back 12-5 seasons.
And early exits.
Where have y'all been?
Well, we won the division and we went to the playoffs.
We.
I am French.
The only reason
you ain't in France, buddy.
The only reason I asked you that is I'm interested to hear everyone's story of why their favorite team is their favorite team. So that's the only reason why I'm asking. I'm not disparage the Cowboys. I'm only asking questions because I want to know. Okay, tell me why you came to where you came to. So that's all.
Well, I'll put it this way: Brian is a devout fan.
Okay.
Yes. I take his.
My dog's name was Dallas.
Yeah, he named his daggone Rottweiler named Dallas.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Whatever. He got problems. But my point is, not only does he support his team, he knows football.
Okay.
From coaching it to playing it, as you're learning right now, being a part of a youth organization that's providing this service for free. I can recall several years back when I was in California, you said the registration was like $150 to $350. I had to pay almost $350 per son.
Yeah, that's
to join the I'm not gonna name the organization, to join the Pop Warner football team. And I was one of the coaches.
That's per child. So
I know,
you got you got what, 3 boys?
Two
boys. You want to put both of your boys in, you paying $700.
Yeah. Oh, I did.
And you got to think around here in this area, as I'm sure it is in a lot of different cities in this country, you have a lot of single family homes. Yeah. And the majority of the time that single family home is mama. So mama is bringing them, she may have 2 or 3 kids, and she's bringing them to practice, and she wants them to play sports. And now you want to take this one income household, not knowing, what her financial situation is, but this one income household, and you want to charge her $250 for each one of her boys to play. And if she got a daughter, her daughter might be in cheer, and that's another $150. And she still got to buy cleats for both of them. And that's expensive. That's expensive. And Lee County is not a very rich county. You know what I mean? So, we just try to make it affordable and try to make it as easy as possible for the demographic that we have around here.
Absolutely. And Brody mentioned that I coached his daughter playing basketball. She played on the boys team. Once I was hearing that, she's good. She was tall, and she wasn't afraid. She's done now, as Brody said, but I will tell you right now, there's nothing like having that great background with these kids.
Oh,
Giving
the most rewarding part of it is when the kids move on.
Yes.
And, I have kids now that are playing college ball that reach out to me and like, hey, coach, I got a game on this day or that day. Can you come see me? Kids in high school playing varsity ball want me to come to some of their games. That was what does it for me.
Hey, B.
Yeah.
Now, one of Jerry's favorite players in the NFL, I believe you was one of his coaches. Was Javonte Williams one of your kids?
No, not Javonte. That was a little bit before me. But I currently have.
Yeah, you had a couple of them go to North Carolina a couple of years ago, right?
I got one at UNC. Well, I have 2 at UNC. I'm sorry. Desmond Evans, he's a starting defensive end at Carolina. And J.J. Jones, he's a running back at Carolina. I coached both of them. And
they played. Didn't they play with Jordan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have one at Campbell University, which he was at ECU. He was at Carolina, then he went to ECU. Now he's at Campbell. I have one at Appalachian State. I think that's it in college. Huh?
They get the picture. But you had these kids when they were young and in youth school.
Oh, yeah. They started at 8, 9 years old.
And that was before you were part of Real Right. So just imagine if you had Real Right resources back then.
Oh, yeah. It was.
And what you can do now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring this up. I know this is the last day of the NFL draft, and we're supposed to be talking day 3. But when I have opportunity to shine a light and love on one of my friends, family members, actually, and like Chris is a family member, is a friend. I can consider family. He quirky, but he does, like I said, Mala from Vets. He does yoga and stuff like that. My boy Brody, congratulations, Brody, on getting your bachelor's degree. Congratulations, by the way. I want to put that out there. But what I want to do is make this show not only about sports and politics, but about uplifting and how we can get our youth. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. If you have an opportunity, whether it's in STEM, which is science, technology, math, and science, I already said science, all that other stuff, or if it's in physical sports, or if it's in debating.
That's the main thing that I left off is, with the state of the way the country is now and the way our youth is going, we're using the sports platforms to get involved in the kids' lives. Yes. But the biggest part of our program is the mentoring and tutoring part that we offer for any of the kids who need help in school. So, we have some current teachers and some retired teachers who are willing to donate their time to help these
Wow.
kids get
Wow.
their grades where they need to get to, so that they can, stay focused in school and at home on the field.
All for free.
All for free.
Wow.
I want y'all to, if you see this on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever this may go,
TikTok, Instagram.
wherever this may go, or if you're a part of this right now, like Brody and Chris are, as well as Brian, I want y'all to get that. This program or this organization is doing it all for free, and it's voluntary.
Yeah, we don't get paid.
Say again?
We don't get paid for this.
So when we think about how someone can contribute to the lives of these people that are getting drafted, and when they go on there and say, I'm thinking about my mom, I'm thinking about my coach, you can be part of that foundation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I want to hang up my boots so bad right now. An opportunity has come up where I can go somewhere else that the family wants to go, but I'm like, I'm ready to just, go and work and coach football and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens with that. But this organization is one of those things that we do.
Yeah.
It's why we do what we do. But let's transition back to football. We're in the 5th round now. Who do you think, Brian, has had the best draft so far? And what has been your biggest shock and your biggest disappointment?
Best draft right now. Outside of Philly beefing up the defense that they already had. I really like what I really like the pieces that that Houston is trying to put together to get themselves out of the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
Them getting Stroud and surrounding him with some weapons, so that, because they were terrible last year. They was completely terrible. Even though I think they beat us too, or they came close to beating us. But in Indianapolis, I like, outside of that Anthony Richardson pick.
So Jerry loves him some Anthony Richardson. His face got tight.
That one I didn't understand. That
oh
one
wow.
I did not understand.
Okay. Everybody's got their opinion.
And now I say that because, but at the end of that, I have to say the QB coach and the head coach are primed for taking him and turning him into a more polished quarterback than he is right now. To me, he was just a little bit he was too inconsistent. His completion ratio was too low. I'm not sure he was actually reading the defenses as good as he could have or should have. But, with the style of quarterback that he is, he's in the right place.
Okay. So what's your biggest shock?
My biggest shock is we ain't get what we needed. Jeez. And you were saying, you were mentioning it earlier with Tyron Smith being injury prone, Terrence Steele coming off of an ACL injury.
Yep.
Tyler Smith is him, Biotish and Martin, they're your stablemates. And Tyler Smith is good, but he can't play two positions at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and if Jason Peters ain't coming back for one more year to give you a little bit of depth, who we got? Matt Waletzko. Come on, dude. We're gonna be in shambles. I don't understand how you take Dak Prescott, give him one of the best weapons he ever had in Cooper, and then let Cooper go and not give him no weapons except for CD. And then you go back and you get him another weapon, but you don't solidify the line to help keep him upright.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like football 101. You know, even at the youth level, we looking like my first thing is identifying who my quarterback is going to be and what kind of line I'm going to have in front of him. Yeah, them the first two priorities I got. And the rest of it I can work out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need a 110-pound kid trying to play tackle for me, and I'm playing, and I'm coaching 12U or 14U. That ain't gonna fly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. The defense. I heard Shannon Sharp say this one time a little while ago, and that was our defense wasn't the problem. You know, even when we played San Fran, we only gave up 19 points. The defense was not the problem. The problem was the freaking offense.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more to your offense than just your weapons.
Oh, we just lost Brian. Oh, there he is. Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, the June 1st cuts are coming. The post-June 1st cuts are coming. Somebody's got to go, and maybe somebody is let go that we could possibly use. I don't know.
Okay. All right, Jay, what you got?
What are you talking about?
You got any questions for B or
No.
comments about the Cleveland Browns? Because we haven't heard your thoughts about your Cleveland Browns. This whole draft is Deshaun, by the way. Deshaun and whoever else they get.
Well, I mean, they picked up a quarterback from UCLA.
They picked up
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Ooh, interesting. That is interesting. He has potential to be a legit starter.
Well, I mean, he's a 5th rounder, so
yeah.
Be honest. They're not going to do anything with Deshaun Watson with that contract they got. He ain't going to.
Oh yeah, I know.
So,
But Jerry, this is your team. Tell us what you think about your Deshaun Watson draft and picking up the UCLA quarterback and whoever else they got. I thought they might pick up some line help, but
I do like. I've always told you and always said that I like big, tall wide receivers, and they did pick up even though he didn't have a good year, a tall wide receiver in Cedric Tillman that your boy was throwing to, Hendon Hooker in Tennessee. I do like that pick, and I do like that was their first pick of the draft, and I do like that pick in the 3rd round, and then they went back in the same round and picked up a huge defensive tackle from Baylor, Siaka Ika. So, and we talked about this guy, and I had him in the 1st round. I think I mock drafted him to Kansas City, but he went to the Cleveland Browns. That was DeJuan Jones, offensive tackle out of Ohio State.
Yeah, that's a big boy too.
He's a big boy. He's definitely a big boy. So I'm liking the way they're trying to shore up their defense for the most part, because other than the first pick in the 3rd round, they've gone and the first pick in the 4th round, they've gone to defense, and they also picked up a 5th round quarterback, but that's just he's a 5th round quarterback. Let me put it that way.
But the kid can play. He's dynamic. He just needs to learn the NFL game. Okay,
so we have 6 picks in, 7 picks in, whatever, and 6 picks, and we've had 3 offensive and 3 defensive. So they're trying to even it out. Only one really offensive weapon that's going to be Deshaun. You got to be able to score points because the way that the NFL is structured, you got to be able to score some points. Mm-hmm. So you got to have a decent defense, but you got to have an offense to be able to keep up, especially in the AFC with these quarterbacks.
Oh, well, no doubt about it.
Well, women be y'all did pick up more from the Jets at wide receiver in that trade, I believe. here's a question. Maybe I missed it. Maybe one of you guys can find out for me. Where did Georgia's tight end go? That big Washington. Where did Washington go?
Washington, he went to give me 1 second.
Because I know he didn't go in the first 3 rounds.
No, he went to where is he at? I just saw him.
The reason I asked, and Brian's camera went out again. The reason why I asked is because I know there were worries about his knees.
Yeah, that was supposed to be.
He went to the
That
Steelers.
was supposed to be. Yeah, the Steelers.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Freiermuth and him?
And he went in the 3rd round, 30th pick in the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. He and Freiermuth, they going double tight end. Oh my, that is Kenny Pickett. All I got to do is throw the ball up to either Freiermuth or Washington.
Freiermuth is 6'6", 6'7", and this
That's
other
what I'm
kid 6'8".
That's what I'm saying. Just throw it up to his tight ends.
Yeah.
Or Pickens. Everybody else can just like do the little. Wow. Okay. All right. So, with that being the case, are you happy with Cleveland's stuff, JT?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm more than most people. I'm happy with the wide receiver they got. I've always liked tall wide receivers. Now, this kid is a 4-5 wide receiver, but he can get open and he can catch 50-50 balls. He's got a wingspan of, I think, over 80 inches. So I like the pick they got, the kid from Tennessee.
Yeah, he's good.
Mm-hmm.
Hyatt's better, but I do agree. But Hyatt didn't go to him.
Well, let me just say this one thing, and I don't know if it's a good or bad trait. Let me say this one thing. When they showed Jalen Hyatt getting picked, he was just like his name. Hi.
Oh my God!
It was just
you're assuming. You are assuming.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna.
You're assuming.
Give you my reason. I'm gonna give you my reason. He had a cup in his hand, and he had that look in his face. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, that man was probably hurt because he was still on. Still on the books that long.
Yes, thank you, Brian.
Yeah, man.
You see how Jerry like
man said he got to do something to ease the pain.
I'm just saying. Jerry, who picked him?
Who picked Hyatt?
Yes.
That was the oh my God.
Because when I said Gibbs looked funny.
The Giants
got him.
He probably didn't want to go play with Danny Dimes. He was probably sad because he got to go play with Danny Dimes.
Did you? I don't know if anybody was watching when Keon White got picked by the Patriots. He had the most stoic look on his face, not like most prospects, smiling and happy.
Hold on. When I said the same thing about Gibbs, you were like, "No, you can't say that."
Okay,
and now you going off.
I'm just saying he had this most stoic. He looked like he was pissed, and it's on the internet. If you look, it's on the internet because because I went to a site, and that one of the things on that site had him saying he was pissed at being picked where he was picked by the team he was picked.
For both of them?
Keon White.
Look, at that stage, you need to just be happy that you made it to the league.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of what team you play for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So I got a question for you, B. I know Jerry gave his opinion. What do you think about Gibbs getting picked 12th after Detroit changed and went around in the draft, but moved back up to 12 to get Gibbs?
And he got taken in the first round, right?
Yep. First round. Second running back taken, first round.
One is surprising. Now, I expected Bijan to be gone, even though, we've just went through this whole thing with running backs being taken in the first round. But yeah, I was surprised Gibbs went that fast, that early. I wasn't expecting that. Shoot, I was actually hoping he was going to fall to 26. But,
I know.
So was the Cowboys. So was the Cowboys.
Yes.
But
So was Jerry Jones. Didn't happen.
no, and like Detroit is. Y'all said that Detroit is looking good, man.
Yes.
Detroit is really looking good.
I'm about to have me some gray and Hawaiian blue outfits, and I'll probably have a Detroit Lion thing. Detroit, who do they have? Detroit went and got, oh my gosh. They went and got the safety from Alabama. They got the tight end from Iowa. They got, it was a DB.
They got a linebacker from Iowa.
Oh, yeah, Mark.
And they
Well,
got,
they got the
Jake
linebacker
Campbell.
and the tight end.
The boy Jake Campbell.
Yes, who's a heat-seeking missile.
Yes, he is.
Just that you point him into, go get him, son. He goes and gets him. Point blank.
Yeah, the boy. I looked at the film on him, and he's something else.
Yeah, man. What is Brody say? Also, where did Williams go? Again, I forgot the team that signed him. Which Williams? Brody? Anyway, I'm going to say this. There's a lot of prospects that are entering the league right now that running back wise, what running back's name is Williams? I know where Tajay Spears went, but Williams. I don't have the list in front of me, brother. I can't get that information because I'm not sure. But there's a lot of young prospects coming to the NFL right now that aren't really big names outside of the folks we know from Georgia, right? Lions' old running back played for Green Bay also. Oh, he went to New Orleans. Jamal Williams. He went to New Orleans. He signed down in New Orleans. He's in New Orleans, brother. That's where Jamal Williams went, to New Orleans. But these prospects, here's a question I have, and this reverts back to your organization, B, or organizations like yours. Are we creating mentally tough persons to go into these hard businesses? Because even though you're playing football, it's a business. To deal with the rejection or the I wasn't picked in the first round, I wasn't picked in the second round. Because like we all been saying, we've been seeing like Will Levitt's face that entire first round. Jerry's talking about the kid that wasn't happy that he got picked by the Patriots. There were like several players that weren't happy at all or didn't show their excitement or whatever the case may be. Are we making these kids mentally tough at the level you are at, B, to be prepared for those the times where they're not the best players or the times they're not picked that high?
I think that depends on where you are and what kind of organization that you're in. We went through this this period where it was, and you all heard about it. It was all about kids participating and getting recognized.
Yeah, participation awards.
Right. Well, we don't believe in that. That's just us and our organization. But some of these players now may have come up during that time, and depending on how they were guided by their coaches or at home, is the reason why their attitude is the way it is. I try to tell all my boys, everybody's path is not the same. Just because this kid over here has the physical attributes that's going to get him noticed, you may have to work a little harder to get noticed. He may not have to do this, but you may have to do that. That's all in how much do you want it. And if you want it bad enough, then you're going to put in the work for it. He may not have to work as hard as you do. He may be just physically gifted enough to get through these stages where you got to work and put in, 1, 2, 3 hours a day, 3, 4 days a week, just so you can, compete. But that comes down to the kid, his mentality, the way he's been brought up, the way he's been coached. If you coach him hard, then they'll get used to it. If you don't coach them hard and you baby them, and then they're getting babied at home, and they have the talent, and the talent gets them, to a certain level, when it comes time for them to receive that hard coaching or to receive that constructive criticism, they ain't gonna be able to take it. So,
I agree, 110%. JT was cheerleading you on that. So why were you cheerleading on that, JT?
Well, I wholeheartedly believe. I don't believe in participation trophies. I wholeheartedly against that. I mean, you got to work to get rewarded. That's plain and simple. You got to work to get rewarded. Hard work pays off if you put the time in. It doesn't. It doesn't give you the right to get a trophy just because you participated. Come on, man. No. There's a reason. There's a reason.
Participation trophies remind me of that award we used to get back in school for not missing days.
Oh, perfect attendance award.
Yeah. You're supposed to be in school. What are you talking about? That's exactly
y'all
right.
Crew on that one, though.
No, man.
Y'all crew for that
You're
one.
supposed to be in school. What are you talking about? Getting a award?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
It's hard. Hey, sometimes you gotta go to school sick, but then you don't want to get nobody sick. So I want my perfect attendance award. I want mine.
Let me put it this way. I'm from the era. They do it
now. You had to walk 20 miles up and down the hill.
No, I didn't have to walk 20 miles, but I had to walk to get to school. It took near the end of my high school years before a bus came. But before that, you had to walk to school. Plain and simple. And I'm also from the era that you got to earn it. You got to earn it. There's a tier. Somebody's up here, and there's always somebody down here. You don't get nothing for free.
No.
There's no free lunch. No, that ain't happening. And if you want to get up here somewhere, you got to work for it. That person that's up here may not have to work as hard for you at wherever level you're at. You just like he said, you got to work twice as hard to try to get to this person level who doesn't have to work that hard because he is who he is. Plain and simple.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, I want my perfect attendance award though. I want mine. I want mine.
No, you didn't get no damn participation. And the fact is this: I'm gonna put it this way out there. I was back in the day,
1920.
Back in the day, kids get a spring break. Ain't getting no spring break. I never had a spring break.
That might explain it.
Never had a spring break. Come on, man. What? Spring break? 2 weeks or
it's
whatever.
A reset.
Some people.
Listen.
You know no damn reset? Reset what? Reset what? Come on, man.
Get ready for the final push. They're not adults yet.
I'm trying to remember if we had a spring break.
Yeah, Brian, we had spring breaks at our age. You're a little older than me. Yes. You're only a couple years older than me.
Never had a spring break. I never had a spring break, and I don't remember that. I'm gonna say it like that. I ain't never had a spring break, and we're talking. And some
they didn't have schools. You were a little house on the prairie back then.
Some kids around here go to schools that they give 2 weeks the spring break, not a week, 2 weeks. I'm like, what?
2 weeks?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. I'm telling you. 2 weeks spring break. Come on, man. Really, a spring break, a 1 week spring break for what? You get a reset, a break when school's over until next year. That's all. You don't get no reset.
Calm down. You're in your feelings because you didn't get the spring break. It's okay. But
that's right, man. Come on.
Calm down. Okay, so here we go.
This generation's got it so easy, man.
Okay, let me. I need you to bring it back so we can talk about this draft.
I'm back. I'm out.
Okay, so
give me a moment. I gotta reset. Give me a moment. I got to reset.
What player, I need this from both of y'all, what player went way later than you thought they would? Mine is Hendon Hooker. Mine is Hendon Hooker.
Not mine. I mean, Hooker, he wasn't as I don't think he was as polished as he needed to be for him to be taken in earlier than round 3. Yeah, honestly, I thought he would have went later than round 3.
I'm about to cut your live feed.
Stop.
But go ahead.
For me, I think it was Drew Sanders.
Position and school.
He's a linebacker out of Arkansas.
Okay.
Drew Sanders has been, just because of his position flex, his intelligence, and the way he plays, has been linked to playing like Micah Parsons.
Ooh.
Oh.
He's that good. And
Ooh.
for him to go in the 3rd round, I thought for sure he would have been maybe the 3rd or 4th linebacker taken in the draft. But
okay.
What do you think is the reason why he went so late?
I'm not sure. I haven't even looked yet. But when I saw him go in the 3rd, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, mine is my favorite position, the running back position, and I talked about him earlier in this broadcast. Rashawn Johnson, he went in the 4th round, 13th pick in the 4th round. I at least thought he was maybe a late 2nd, early 3rd round pick when he went in the 4th round. That was a surprise. Now he says, who
drafted Sanders? Who drafted Sanders?
Okay. Rashawn Johnson, running back up to Bijan Robinson, was a very good running back. 6 foot, 219, ideal height and weight for me. And he was a very good back. But they had Bijan Robinson in front of him. This reminds me of the North Carolina running backs. Michael Sanders. Michael
Carter.
Michael Carter and Breece Hall. Breece Hall was a big name. Michael Carter is a very good back.
Michael Carter's very good.
Yes. So I'm thinking the same thing. When somebody got in the 4th round, I think they stole him. It went to the Bears, and the 13th pick in the 4th round. I mean, even though it was a 4th round pick, and he finally got picked. When I saw that, because I was watching, when I saw that, I clapped because I really like this back. I think he's going to make some noise in the NFL.
I think that was probably his downfall, though, is the fact that for him to go in the 4th was probably a good thing, because playing behind Bijan, you ain't gonna get a lot of PT. So all the focus being on Bijan, and you happen to come out in the same draft that he come out in. Woo.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know which Sanders. Was that your linebacker, Brian?
Drew Sanders. Yeah.
What team got him? I think that's the question Brody was asking.
He went to Denver.
Ooh.
Denver's having a pretty decent draft too now.
Yeah, for a team that didn't have a lot of draft picks.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Denver has put some pieces on the board.
Exactly. I agree with you on that. Quietly too. They're not. There's not a big hubbub about them.
I haven't paid attention to what Chicago has been doing.
Wow.
Well, there's always teams. If you watch professional football, there's always a turnover in teams that make the playoffs. Six average of 6 teams make the playoffs and 6 teams that don't. I'm thinking Chicago may be one of those because, quite naturally, the backup in Green Bay doesn't impress me, and Minnesota's there, so there's a possibility that 3 teams in one division again make the playoffs.
All right, Chris brought up this a while ago, and I know we've been pushing it down. Chris, I'm gonna tell you why we haven't talked Lamar yet. Jerry gets very animated, really animated when we talk about Lamar Jackson. So I was saving it for last. So I guess we'll talk about it right now.
Okay.
And maybe we can keep our heads about it. Brian. So see, they're showing Gibbs right now like he don't really care about going to Detroit. This dude.
Yeah, I looked at when he was on stage.
But anyway,
I looked at it.
Lamar gets the richest contract in football, which really is the richest contract because he'll never see all of that money. He has $180 million guaranteed.
185.
185 guaranteed. They do it the day of the draft. I've said it many times on this show for the past month and a half. He needed to get his contract done before Jalen, Herbert, and Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen got his done, and Jalen's kind of helped his mom get his done, meaning Lamar's mom get his done. Herbert was just hit with the 5th-year option. Burrow was as well. Both of those quarterbacks, or at least Burrow is going to be the highest paid quarterback and will have the most guaranteed money.
Ain't no doubt about it.
Herbert, probably not because the Chargers are cheap. But Lamar, here's what I've told Jerry last week. And B, tell me if I'm wrong. Baltimore said, okay, we're going to play Chinese checkers with you. We're going to give you this money. We're going to give you Odell Beckham Jr. You already got old boy from Minnesota, University of Minnesota from last year. We drafted you another wide receiver this year. You already got Andrews, the tight end. You already got stud running backs, and the defense is good enough. And you already got an offensive line. It's on you to take us to the Super Bowl now.
What running backs are you referring to?
Bro, they already got Dobbins, and they already got oh my God, oh boy, the other dude, Gus Edwards, but they can get another running back.
That's where they lacking. But I mean, if you add what Lamar is going to bring to the table as far as running, then you almost have a complete running game.
Exactly. So my question becomes, and not my question, but my comment is, this is Baltimore's way of saying, okay, Lamar, you about to be the reason why we don't go where we go because we're giving you all this money because I can't give it to everybody now. And you got these pieces. Let me see you get Odell Beckham that 1,000 yards into the Pro Bowl. Let me see you get these other receivers into the Pro Bowl or 1,000 yards, and we win games. The AFC North is horrendous. It's going to be hard to win that division. It's going to be hard. And I'm telling you, I believe they are playing. What? Lamar he is a better running back than them. But I believe it's Baltimore's way of saying, all right, Lamar, you want all this cake? Now when it don't work out and all that guaranteed money gone, you're gone.
Yeah,
I really think that's
they tied to this dude for at the very least, the next 3-4 years.
Yeah, because
his money's too big for them to let go. So 4 years, they're gonna have him whether they want him or not. So
they want him, but he has to prove. In my opinion, they're saying prove that you're worth all that money that you were saying you wanted.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
You're talking about Odell Beckham Jr. Are you talking about the same one that's coming off a 2 ACL tear? Are you talking about a rookie?
He still got good hands.
Wait a minute.
He still got good hands.
I'll let you finish.
I know you did, but you asked the question.
You did ask a question.
Yeah, you did.
I'm trying to answer. I'm trying to answer it. So what you're talking about? A 2 ACL tear veteran running back, an older running back. I mean, a wide receiver, and you're also talking about an unproven 5'9", 5'8" wide receiver. And the other wide receiver, Rashawn Bateman, is coming off an injury himself. So you can't. I mean, what are you trying to prove by saying, okay, Odell? I mean, okay, Lamar, you have all these weapons, but those weapons are questionable. Those weapons are questionable. You got Odell Beckham Jr., who's had didn't play last year. Would you talk about a player that didn't play last year, Deshaun Watson? What are you talking about that? Okay, you said that don't expect the name with the production. Don't put it together. Didn't you tell me that? Yes, you did.
I'm asking.
Also,
what are you talking about?
What I'm telling you, Odell didn't play last year. He's coming off of 2 ACL tears. He's 30 plus. Okay,
he's 30.
He's 30 plus. He's going to be 30 sometime before the year's over. Am I right about that? I'm pretty sure I am. Anyway, and Zay Jones, who's a rookie, who has to.
Zay Jones is not a rookie.
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
I'm sorry, Zay Flowers. I'm sorry. Thank you. Zay Flowers is a rookie, and he's a 5'8", 5'9" rookie. Come on, man. Come on.
So
I'm not a big fan of short wide receivers. I have never been a big fan of short wide receivers.
I got that, but with that being the case, the whole purpose is the complaint was he didn't have weapons on the outside, so he wasn't really getting the ball to the outside. He has weapons outside now. There's no reason that the tight end should be the leading receiver on a team. And it was already proven when Hollywood Brown left Baltimore and went to Arizona. I get it, different offensive scheme. I get it. But he wasn't getting the ball to his outside receivers, period. Julian Edelman was like small. Chris put it up. I'm not even going to say it. Chris put it up.
Let me put it this way. Julian Edelman was in a system that highlighted the slot wide receiver, and Julian Edelman is a Hall of Fame player. Is Odell? Is Zay Flowers? We don't know that.
Rashad
Bateman. I think they also got Nelson Aguilar. Go ahead, B.
I'm looking at their roster. Their receivers. You got Nelson Aguilar. He don't scare nobody.
No.
Rashad Bateman. He don't scare nobody. I mean, he's decent, but he don't scare nobody either. Odell, Tariq Black, Shamar Bridges. You got Devin Duvernay. He don't scare anybody.
Kick returner.
Zay Flowers. And Andy Isabella. James Porsche II. And Mike Thomas and Tylan Wallace.
Half of those guys going to be cut.
Yeah, I mean, see, this is this is not the ideal situation for Odell. Odell, and
he got that money.
This is just the way I saw it when the Cowboys were talking about picking him up. He could have thrived in our offense because you had CeeDee Lamb, you had Michael Gallup. And you see what happened. Michael Gallup ain't do a doggone thing last year. But this is his second year back from his ACL tear. But he should be better this year than he was last year. But still having him out on the field would have been you have to cover Odell regardless.
Exactly.
Now, in Baltimore, you're looking at Odell being your number one.
Mm-hmm.
In Dallas, he would have been your number 2 or number 3.
Correct.
So I would take a 2 ACL tear Odell going against a second or third string corner, your second or third corner, versus going against your number 1 corner, which is what he's going to have to do in Baltimore.
No,
he's going to have to.
No, I agree with you on that. But that also means if he's taking that number 1 corner in Baltimore, that means Bateman, Aguilar his hands are iffy, and Zay Flowers, who is going to probably surpass Aguilar and maybe even Bateman. I don't care about his height. Steve Smith was a dog, and Steve Smith sees the same dog in this kid in Flowers. I have a high school friend who's a defensive back coach / assistant head coach at Boston College. He knows this guy, Zay Flowers. His DBs were getting torched in practice. Got it? Boston College ain't the best, school to have, players or whatever. But Zay Flowers is legit a deep threat. And much like, in my opinion, the way they can use him, like Debo. Now, I'll put it this way. You brought up a good point about taking the 1 or 2 corner. When he was with the Rams, he saw the number 1 corner. Even though Cooper Kupp was clearly the number 1 wide receiver.
That's before he,
because people were afraid of what he could do, even after his ACL tear. Now, the second one happened in the Super Bowl, and he was still torching them.
Yeah, but he was torching them then because Kupp was coming off of 200 reception seasons with 5,000 freaking receiving yards.
I got it. But Andrews is the go-to guy, right? Andrews is the go-to guy. What I'm saying the organization is trying to do is simply say, spread that ball around like a quarterback from the pocket. Now, like I said before, he got injured in the pocket because his frail body. His legs ain't designed to take them hits like that from the pocket. Him running around, making people miss and stuff, yeah, you can do that. But from that pocket, he going to get crushed. And he did back-to-back years. Mm-hmm. But you got to take the pressure off of Andrews and put it in that 3 wide receiver set with your running back with J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, or whoever it's going to be. And you can still run the ball as the quarterback, but spread the ball. That's what they're saying. That's why they got the new offensive coordinator. Why? The players were complaining about the offensive coordinator. The coach complained about the offensive coordinator. The quarterback complained about the offensive coordinator. But Baltimore brought in the offensive coordinator to fit Lamar's style. Now they got an offensive coordinator that doesn't fit his style. And they got players that fit the system, not just the quarterback. That's what I'm saying. The organization is squarely putting everything on Lamar because they wanted all this money. They put the money in the places that needed to be upgraded. Because even though they all might not be number 1s, it's an upgrade from what they've had, right? Chris says, I believe every AFC divisional winner and maybe even the wild card teams has the potential to beat any NFC team in the big game, clearly notwithstanding the any given Sunday rule, right? They could compare Zay Flowers to Ty Hill. That was the comparison.
To who?
Tyreek Hill.
I know he's fast, but he ain't that fast.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And he's still he ain't the size. He ain't the size and doesn't have the speed of Tyreek Hill.
He's the size of Tyreek. What are you talking about?
Tyreek Hill.
They got him listed as 5'10", 172 pounds.
Tyreek came in about that because they had him at running back before they converted him to wide receiver. Tyreek came in about that. He was maybe like 180, 185 or something like that. But he came in very similar.
He's not like Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry.
I didn't say he was. That was the comparison that
Tyreek Hill is. I don't think nobody name should be mentioned with Tyreek Hill name. Nobody.
Well, that's what the analyst did. I didn't say it.
He is in a league of his own.
Hey, Chris, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you, brother. Plus the interaction. All right, JT. Chris is going to miss you lambasting about your boy Lamar, but go ahead.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
What you got to say about the Lamar situation?
I think Lamar's have to. I understand these names: Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham. Zay Flowers is a short rookie wide receiver, and Odell is a wide receiver that's coming off 2 ACL tears, meaning to me, he's injury prone. So hopefully you get a decent season from Odell, but more than likely he's going to get hurt. So there are question marks in the wide receivers that Baltimore's picked up. Okay, one's got a big name, the other one is I guess gaining momentum as a big name, but he hasn't done anything in the NFL. You don't know exactly if he's going to pay off or if he's going to be somewhat of a disappointment. So I understand that you say that, okay, Odell, we gave you some weapons, but in my opinion, those weapons are questionable. They're questionable. A rookie and a 2 ACL tear, older wide receiver who hadn't played last year. Now he's coming back.
Lamar didn't play last year, so
no. There's a difference. Lamar played the majority of the season. He got hurt late in the season. Odell didn't play at all last season.
Lamar didn't play last year.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't play the last 8 games, 8 or 9, or something like that. You're right. I apologize. But he missed. But the previous year he missed about the same amount of games.
I think he missed. I think he missed 6 games. Odell missed the whole season.
I got you.
So
I got
you. Those two wide receivers that were given to Lamar are, in my opinion, I could be totally wrong, and I'll say
I think you are.
I'm totally wrong. Question marks. They're question marks. Wide receivers really don't start producing, or if they're anything, about halfway through the season when they somewhat get it of how other defenses are going to play them. So 6, maybe 700 yards, maybe 500 yards is what I'm predicting for Flowers. Maybe.
Well, that's if he gets the ball to him. That's the point. He's got to get the ball to him, and he has not had a good history of throwing to the outside. That's the point, because they blamed it on the system. Now they're in a system that's a run-heavy system, but is designed to get the ball to the outside guys.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what kind of system they have going into the season. Wait a minute. We'll see what type of system. I mean, you play college football. There's one system. You bring that to the pros, you've got to do a little bit things differently, because the fact is, this is the pros. You got to do things differently. So you don't know exactly what system he's going to run and what combinations of system he's going to run. So if the combination of putting the quarterback in the best situation to make the best plays that he possibly can for the team, and that's up to the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and the head coach to figure that out.
Yeah,
I agree. Well, gentlemen, we're not going to take this show all the way through the 7 rounds. I think we had a very good discussion. One person I'm a little sad that didn't get picked yet was my QB from TCU.
Really?
Yes, really.
Why?
Brian.
Why?
I like Duggan because I like his stature. I like his arm, but one thing I don't like about Duggan is he reminds me of Kirk Cousins.
No, he remind me of freaking what's your boy name that just ran around the league?
Wentz?
No, not Wentz. The just when you started in Cleveland.
Oh, Jacoby Myers?
No,
Jacoby
not
Brissett.
Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Brissett?
No, the quarterback. Just went to Carolina.
Oh, Sam Darnold or Baker?
Baker Mayfield.
Ooh.
No, Brian.
Hey,
Brian.
I'm trying to tell you, Vic, but
Hey, don't even
I'm
do it.
trying to tell you. You don't want to listen. You think everybody's a hater.
We are family.
Bro.
We are family.
I'm telling you.
But sometimes family get on your damn nerves.
He remind me of Baker Mayfield all day, every day.
He got that heart. You're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Everything but sanitize.
He's got to work. Let me mute your mic while you're talking to your people, Brian. Brian, he's hurt my feelings.
They say, you know what, Victor?
Yeah, I muted you.
You know what? I try to tell you. I'm
I
trying
don't care
to
what
tell
you
you.
trying to tell me.
You know, Brian, I've been trying to tell him for the last 2 years about Baker Mayfield, and he just say I'm hating. I see what I see, and he ain't it.
You blind. Both of y'all need glasses. I'm surprised you ain't got your glasses on, bro.
Hold on. So why is he on his third or 14 in 5 years?
Listen, I didn't say the man was Superman, but I understand where you're coming from. Duggan is passionate. Duggan has height. Duggan has an arm.
Who's more
Duggan
passionate
had a
than Baker
weapon.
Mayfield?
Brian, don't make me mute you again.
Passion gets you nowhere.
Don't make me mute you again, Brian.
I'm being real.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying.
What is passion gonna get him? Nothing. Look, unfortunately, because honestly, his story is an amazing story.
Yes.
His story.
I think I'm afraid of his heart issue. That's what I think.
If he was somehow able to finish it, it would be an even greater story. The fact of the matter is, he's going to fall into that category of those great college quarterbacks who can't take that next step.
He's going to be a camp arm. I don't think he's going to get drafted, unfortunately, because
his pride is going to keep him from being a camp arm.
Yep.
Right now, he still thinks he can start somewhere. Yeah. And he's not going to be – he may take a backup role for 1, maybe 2 years if he can let his pride down enough to do that. But that's all he'll ever be is a backup. And his pride ain't going to let him do that.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Excuse me. All right. Okay, you guys have had your fun. All right.
Fun. He's keeping it real. That's what he's doing.
Excuse me. Let the as I said, you guys had your fun. That was my disappointment of why he's not being picked.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Leave it up to us. We're gonna pick him up.
I hope
Jerry Jones liked that boy for some reason.
Because he good.
7th round.
He good. But
look at
here's a question before we end the show.
Look at the last comment.
Jerry, before we end the show, tell me who you guys are disappointed in that they haven't been picked yet. What player do you think should have been picked by now, but hasn't been as we end the show?
I don't have one.
I'll start with Jerry since you got so much.
What we got best available.
And no, I didn't like Tim Tebow, Brody. I did not like Tim Tebow.
Hey, I did.
See, now, talk
about
him.
I like
Tebow.
Okay.
I wanted him to succeed.
Well,
but I was realistic when I saw what I saw too.
Yeah.
I'm realistic. All right, give me a player, guys. I gave y'all Duncan. Who do you guys have?
I don't have anybody.
Okay.
I guess I'll just say, just for kicks and giggles, just because I'm a Carolina fan, this other wide receiver out of UNC. What's the boy name? Antoine Green. But I ain't really got nobody.
Okay. And Jerry, you said you don't have anybody either.
Oh, I don't have anybody. No.
Okay. I hope Max Duggan does get drafted, even if it's Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy proved that being Mr. Irrelevant is irrelevant. So I hope he gets picked up way before then, but if not, he'll go in somewhere and earn a job. With that being said, what's happening on 4NR tomorrow, Jerry?
We're going to talk about projections of players and in different teams. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on 4 No Reason on YouTube and on Facebook. That's For No Reason, one word, on YouTube and Facebook. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday.
Brian, give
Jim.
your organization one more shout out and how people can reach them and get in contact with you or the organization.
Real Right, RealRite, Real Right Youth Athletic Association. Easiest thing for me to do is tell you to find them on Facebook, and all of the information is up there. I don't have the website is real. I think it's RRAA.
Okay. Real Right.
Yeah, RRYAA.website.
Okay. Again, all of the youth experiences in the Lee County, North Carolina area that participate with Real Right, it's free. Year-round athletics and other opportunities to help the youth be a part of a change. Help make the change. Give these kids a foundation. And if you can't be a part of Real Right, start your own or find one in your local area. We do not throw up gang signs on this show. We do not throw up gang signs on this show.
This is Real Right, baby.
Okay. All right. All right. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for participating. My boy Brody, my boy Chris. Of course, I want to thank Brian for jumping on and being a part of the show.
Brian. Good meeting you.
And don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger, brother. I know you got to work and all that other good stuff. But
hey man, this is day 50 in a row I don't work.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, 50 straight.
Bro, you better put in some leave or something.
Well, I was short staffed, dog. So I just hired a new supervisor. I just hired a new lead. So vacation is coming up.
Good God Almighty, brother. All right. I'm glad I ain't doing that job. But
hey, as long as I'm getting paid.
Yeah, getting paid. I'm on call 24/7, but they know not to call me all the time because I ain't gonna answer. But anyway, with that being the case, thank you, Brian. Appreciate you. I love you, brother. Thank you, JT. And we will see y'all tomorrow because you've been listening and watching to
Fantasy Sports and Politics. Get ready to rumble! You want to talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Derek's gonna get him.
Fantasy Sports and Politics. Fantasy Sports and Politics. Fantasy Sports and Politics. Fantasy Sports and Politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not